Too many bills, too little time, and now the land of Lincoln is just about out of time. Illinois is on the verge of bankruptcy, and I'm here to say, then just go bankrupt already. Quit scaring us. You know, many companies have survived and lived to fight another day. Why can't our most bankrupt states and municipalities get the chance to do the same? They can have a go at it as well. Ron Meyer says he hopes that Illinois does indeed go bankrupt, and soon. Kristen Saltes Anderson and Julie Rajinski here on that as well. So, Ron, explain your position here. Bankruptcy is fine. Have at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bankruptcy is fine. I say let Illinois go bankrupt. Really, there's only two options. One is they allow Governor Scott Walker to come from Wisconsin and go down to Illinois and fix their budget problems, or they have to go bankrupt. The politicians in Illinois, they're mostly Democrats, by the way. They've all been paid off by the public sector unions. There's no way they're going to renegotiate these pensions. The only way they're going to be able to do it politically and legally is to actually let the state go bankrupt so they can renegotiate these pension contracts, do something that's more sustainable, frankly, fight for the taxpayer. Remember, these public sector unions have done this pay-for-play deal where they've contributed tons of money to these politicians, and in turn, the politicians have given them huge pensions and huge salaries, and we need to break this cycle.
What do you think of that, Julie?
Well, you know, in a perfect world, I guess, but the problem is going to be that you have bondholders who are unsecured creditors if it goes bankrupt. So you've got, you know, essentially a bunch of people who are going to get soaked if Illinois goes bankrupt. And you've also got...
Yeah, but they would at least move to the front of the line.
If they ever do move to the front of the line. But, you know, with unfunded pension liability, you've also got, you know, and then at the end of the day, then Illinois says they want to get some more credit, and they're not going to be able to. And who's going to fix the roads? Who's going to fix the bridges? Who's going to fix the schools? Practical application is you cannot have a state go bankrupt. It's too big to fail, essentially.
I don't attach the stigma to bankruptcy, Kristen, that many do. Not that I recommend it for anyone, but there does get to be a point of no return. And if they're not showing the resolve to get their expenses under control, to address everything from union contracts to built-in fixed cost in their municipality, city, or state, then the only option is bankruptcy. And many a company have survived coming through it. Now, some have not, but therein lies the risk. What is so bad about the B word?
Well, states are these laboratories of democracy, right? And it seems that in these places like Illinois, where you've had entrenched Democratic-leaning interests in power for so long, it's as if those risks are now all gone. So you throw out a term like bankruptcy, that could have some real negative consequences within the state. And it's a shame that the threat of something like that hasn't led this state to reform its pension system. The other thing that Illinois has been asking for, by the way, there are reports that they've been asking for a federal bailout of their pension system, that while other states like Utah and Michigan have taken steps to put in place reforms so that the pensioners or the state employees are having to pay a little more in, they're having to get a little bit less out at the end, but it's a promise that can be kept. A state like Illinois is not willing to make those changes because there's no sense that there's real consequences if they don't.
But, you know, the problem for a lot of these states, and this applies to, you know, states like New Jersey, which has a very powerful Republican governor, and states like Illinois, there's a ton of unfunded pension liabilities, a tremendous amount.
Well, they're everywhere.
Everywhere. And to the point where essentially it's going to be impossible to do anything about, because you're talking...
So if you declare bankruptcy, then all those agreements are null and void.
They are.
So that begs the issue, Ron, I want to raise with you, that it's an easy out for those who want to avoid making tough choices, right?
Well, I think it's a good solution. Frankly, I think it might be what's best for those employees. Remember, if you keep pressing this on, if you keep delaying the inevitable, you might not actually be able to pay these pensions at all. So what's actually best for these workers, what's best for these public employees, is to renegotiate their contracts. And they need to realize that. We can't just keep saying we're going to tax people more. Remember, Illinois has already had a 67% increase in income tax. 67%. They followed the Obama model to the extreme. There's no more money that can be gotten from there. So they're going to have to do something. Otherwise, these employers are going to lose it all. And so, yes, I think you're right. Bankruptcy is a very easy choice.
All right.
Easy.
The worry is that when bankruptcy is on the table, you're more or less telling people who are going to be hurt by it, you're going to lose some money or all your money. Pick your poison.
Well, but you're not picking your poison, because what all these states are doing, for the most part, most of them, if not all of them, is they're essentially bonding and bonding and bonding and bonding.
Yeah, but you can only do that so long.
But we're
right?
the bond vigilantes. They're not coming after these states.
Well, but I mean, you can only play that game so long, and on the state level, it's really a mini version of what's happening at the federal level. You can't keep playing these Ponzi schemes.
They've been playing these Ponzi schemes for generations.
I agree. I'm just saying the time for the game is stopped.
Well, these governors are going to keep kicking the can down the road.
I don't know, Kristen. I think they're realizing that the unfunded liability is such that even bondholders are going to get to the point, and all it would take is a nominal uptick in rates for them to say, no mas, that's it, we're out of here.
Well, you've already seen some pieces of this sort of Democratic coalition where the unions are a big piece of that start to fall apart. Just look in Chicago at what Rahm Emanuel had to deal with the Chicago teachers unions over the summer.
That's a good point.
In terms of renegotiating that contract, you know, and they were asking for, I believe, a 10% pay increase, and he was trying to say no. So even unions within the Democratic coalition are facing pushback because